Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Now we come to the last item. This is a presentation by our respected missionary in charge and Vice President 1 of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, respected Maulana Mubarak Ahmad Nazir Sahib, and the topic is a message of peace. Maulana Mubarak Ahmad Sahib.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله لا يحب المفسدين إن الله لا يحب المعتدين. My dear brothers and my dear sisters and our respected guests, Assalamu alaikum. By the grace of Allah, we have listen to the wonderful remarks by our guests and remarks by our mayor, our veteran mayor, really was very, very moving. We have made many achievements, and one achievement is that we have brought two superpowers together, the powers of India and Pakistan. And we hope thank you very much. And we hope that this will also pave the way when our cricket teams could also come together. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a very turbulent world. You cast a glance at the map of the world, killings, butchering, carpet bombs. Look at the history of this world. Man is an aggressive creature. Thousands of years of savagery has failed to quench the thirst of the blood of the innocent. Millions and millions of people have been gassed by the Christians, and Christians were also killed. The First World War, the Second World War, the Korean War. Look at the conflicts of the world. I stand here to talk about the message of peace. Where is peace? We all cry for peace. Peace. Not a drop of peace. We only sometimes have peace for 2 minutes. 11th of November, the 11th hour, the 11th minute. 2 minutes of peace, and the killing goes on. We live in this beautiful country, which is the envy of the world. Look at how different people speaking different languages. Look at the pigment of our skin, has all the variations. The cultures are different, the languages are different. Our festivals are sometimes different. But to look how this country has brought the world together. A heterogeneous society has been brought together as a homogeneous society. This is the beauty of this country. So when we stand here, we who are immigrants, who have taken refuge in this beautiful country, when we stand here and when we say, "O Canada, we stand on guard for thee," we mean it. This is such a beautiful country. I am a Muslim speaker. Many times, we go from door to door, spreading the message of peace. These are the pamphlets of peace that we distribute all over. And how many times? Sometimes we are reprimanded. Sometimes the occupants refuse to take these leaflets because they say you Muslims are fighting Muslims. Look at what's happening in Syria. Thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of people. What about Iraq? The recent, fight between the Sunnis and the Shias. And Iran wants to come as a judge. America wants to come as a judge. You remember the two cats who were fighting over a piece of meat, and the monkey came to decide. But I will decide. This is the plight of the world. Muslims killing Muslims. Is there a day when we do not see on the television or we read on the newspapers Muslims killing Muslims? That is why some people, sometimes when we go to the door with these pamphlets, they even do not allow us to listen. They do not allow us to tell them what we are. As if they are telling us that charity begins at home. Why don't you go to your own country? Look at what you are doing with yourselves. In English there is another proverb which says, "Healer, heal thyself." If I am speaking about peace, let me go to my backyard. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so embarrassed that we have always to go on the defensive, on the back foot. Islam, which was a religion of peace, the very name Islam means peace. Alas, look at what the Muslims are doing. Two Muslims. Iran and Iraq were fighting a war which you must not have forgotten. Millions of people killed on both sides, and each calling it jihad. Look at what's happening in Libya. Look at what's happening in Indonesia, sometime in Bangladesh, sometime in Pakistan. There was mentioned by the previous speaker that, was it a few weeks back, we had to bury one of our cardiologists, a doctor, who went to Pakistan on leave to serve humanity. And he was gunned down. In fact, one of the funeral prayers, I had the opportunity of leading one of the funeral prayers of this shaheed. We had a person, another doctor, who was reading the Holy Quran. And the newspaper said he was caught red-handed reading the Holy Quran. What is our response? Are we going to block roads, just as the other Muslims are doing? Are we going to start burning banks, or burning restaurants, or looting shops, or looting banks? No, that is not our reaction. Our reaction is that if one doctor is slaughtered, if one doctor is martyred, our community will produce hundreds of other doctors. We are engaged in the service to humanity. If one of our mosques is destroyed anywhere in the world, you know our reaction. Our reaction is that we build hundreds of other mosques. When was it last week? The head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, inaugurated 2 mosques in Germany, laid the foundation of 2 other mosques also. I am a humble missionary. I returned last week from Brazil. It was just last week. We laid the foundation of a mosque over there. At the airport, and other people were asking that there is going to be a football match in FIFA, a world soccer tournament, and you are going back. I said, you do not know. You will play your football and come back. Maybe you will break some people's homes or do some other damage to people. We have laid the foundation of the house of God, and the light of the minaret and the call from the minaret will call for peace in the world. It is the compassion of the Holy Prophet. It is the magnanimity of my master. It is the truthfulness of our Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam that has made us his slaves. This is how we retaliate. This is our retaliation. This is our sweet revenge. Liya ufuf se zulm ka intiqam. Alayka salatu alayka salam. This is how we take our revenge. That we will make sure that there are hundreds of doctors. You saw some of our youngsters who passed over here, who got their degrees. The same thing happened in Germany. The same thing is going to happen in the UK. Hundreds of our boys and our girls. As I said earlier, this world is in turmoil. We are a small community. How far will our voice reach? Look at our meager resources. And the supreme head of our Ahmadiyya community wrote letters to the Pope that let's have peace in the world. Help us to get peace. And that's what the mayor was saying just now. She said that the religious people should come together. And Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen had already written a letter to the Pope, a personal letter. He wrote letters to the Prime Minister of Israel, to the Prime Minister and President of Iran, to the United States President, to Canada, Saudi Arabia, China, UK, France, peace symposiums all over the world. I have attended dozens of them. He spoke at Capitol Hill. He spoke at the European Parliament in Brussels. He went to Australia, and he spoke over there. So we are trying that this world should have peace. Which type of peace? Am I at peace with myself? Am I at peace with my neighbor? Am I at peace with other religions? Look, the Holy Quran says, do not even abuse the false gods of other religion. Look at the peaceful teachings of Islam. And look at how these people have polluted the teachings of Islam. You know, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had predicted. He was unlettered, and he predicted that a time would come upon this ummah, a time would come upon my community when they will forget the teachings of the Holy Quran. They will forget the teachings of religion. Their mosques will be filled with worshippers, but they will be totally devoid of faith. There will be no faith. It will only be the words of the Quran. They will forget the meaning. He said at that time, the scholars of Islam, the scholars of so-called Islam, will be the worst creation under the canopy of the heavens. Asman ke niche batreen makhluk. Evil will emanate from them and evil will come back to them. It's not what I'm saying. Ulamahum sharru man tahta adi masawai. And that is why the Holy Prophet said, at that time a reformer would come, who would come to rejuvenate Islam, who would come to revive Islam. It is this revival that you and I are soldiers of that revival. I have spent nearly 3 decades, 27 years in Africa. We build water wells. I have been a teacher in schools for 23 years. We build solar panels. We give our blood. Somebody's wall is broken, we construct that wall. That is what humanity is. And that is what we say when we say love for all, hatred for none. That is what it means. It was the love of Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this was taught to us by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was taught to us by the founder of the Ahmadiyya Jamaat. This was taught to us by the Khulafa. Inna Allaha ma sabirin. Be patient. Look, it is love which conquers. Love is such a sword which hits this way and hits that way. That is the weapon which we have. You know, swords can bend heads. Swords can win territories. But swords cannot win hearts. We are not in the business of winning territories. We have got no interest whatsoever in territories. Our interest, our business is to win the hearts of humanity. That is what we are after. And that is what we are trying to win the hearts of humanity. And members of the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, wherever you are, Our object is that we should show by our good example. Look, am I at peace with my Creator? Am I at peace with my children? Am I at peace with my parents? What about my spouse? The Holy Prophet said that the best among you is not the white one or the black one or the yellow one. The best among you is the one who is righteous, who is God-fearing. In another place he said, the best among you is the one who is best to his partner, to his wife. That is the arrogant, that is the pertinent question. That are we good to our children, to our wives, to our country? That has given us refuge. Hal jazaul ihsan illa ihsan. Somebody has done good to you, what else do you have but to reciprocate by doing good to that person? The Holy Quran has said, and you must have heard it many, many times, that you kill one innocent person is as if you have killed the entire humanity. Unless that man is a troublemaker and he causes, disruption. Otherwise, to kill one innocent person is as if you have killed humanity. And to save one person is as if you have saved humanity. How many people are being killed? After I have started talking, how many must have died? Look at the wails of those orphans. Look at the wails of those women, those widows whose homes have been demolished. Where is peace? How do we go about it? The most important thing is that am I at peace with my Creator? If I'm not at peace with my Creator, I will never be satisfied. Sometimes we have desires. I have a desire to have a good job. Maybe after I get a good job, I will be satisfied. You get a good job, you are not satisfied. Sometimes you think that if you have a good wife or a good husband, you will be satisfied. The fulfillment of one desire gives chance to hundreds of other desires. The reason is that the Holy Quran says, "Ala bi zikrillahi tatma'innul qulub." O you who are seekers of peace, do not forget that it is in the remembrance of Allah, it is in the service of Allah that you will find peace. So if we are finding peace, why not? I cannot change the world. At least I can be at peace with my children, with my country, with my neighbor. What about my neighbor? Jesus Christ has narrated one parable in the Bible. Bible scholars must be listening. That once a Jew somebody was traveling, and the robbers came and they beat him up and they took all his belongings and they left him for dead. A rabbi came by that road and he said, well, let me go. He passed on the other side. Another scholar came and he also passed on the other side. Another Samaritan came and he took care of him. He took him on his horse and took him to an inn, a hotel, and bandaged his body and gave him treatment. Who is a good neighbor? We should be careful about our neighbors. One of the conditions of this bath is that we should always be careful of our people who are around us. I have been told that we have run short of time, so I would suffice this to say that the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, you are our ambassadors. You should walk about. in this land with peace and project the true teachings of Islam. Islam has been hijacked. Islam is in great turmoil. People are attacking Islam because the Muslims themselves are killing Muslims. And that is why the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat came. And that is the struggle we have. This is the jihad. This is the fight that we are fighting. This is the jihad that we will, inshallah ta'ala, fight, because this is the jihad which is worth fighting for the propagation of peace. The Bible says that if you plant thistles, then don't wait that at the harvest you will be able to harvest figs. If you plant thorns, then don't grumble that the harvest is not thorns. Don't await the harvest to be a fruit. And let us also be reminded of the saying of the Holy Prophet, that not one of you is a true believer until he wishes for himself, until he wishes for others what he wishes for himself. And to our Jewish brothers, let me quote the golden rule of Judaism as contained in Talmud. He said, it is written over there, what is hateful to you, do not do it to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Love never begets hatred. Peace never begets war. God is love. God is peace. And our slogan is love for all, hatred for none. Thank you.